Hey guys, welcome into my channel. Today I'm showing you how I transform this old plain dresser into a beautiful Anthropologie inspired piece. This free find is about to turn fabulous, so stay tuned. This mass-produced dresser is from Rooms to Go and it is all laminate, not a piece of solid wood in sight. A sweet friend gave this to me for free, so I figured let's do something fun with this one. I'm going to show you guys how you can take an everyday run-of-the-mill piece of furniture and turn it into something that is super unique. Plus, the one I'm trying to duplicate today is listed for over $2,000 on the Anthropologie website, so I figured let's give myself a bit of a challenge and see if I can recreate this. First things first, before I paint any furniture piece, it needs a really good clean. I like to use Simple Green as it's a really great degreaser to help get off any dirt and grime. I'll give it a good scrub with some hot water. Today's video is a collaboration I'm doing with my friend Autumn. Her channel is called The Furniture Flipper Guide. She's also doing a really cool dupe today that you don't want to miss. Her channel is just starting out on YouTube and I would love it if you guys would jump over there and show her some love after you watch mine. I promise her piece is also super impressive. You can find the link to Autumn's channel in the video description below.
This dresser is going to have a complete upgrade, which means this hardware's gotta come off.
I won't be reusing any of the hardware that I took off today on this new modern look that I'm going for, so I'll go ahead and fill the holes with some wood fill.
Normally, this totally needs to be vacuumed, but we're about to chop it all apart. So I'm gonna wait until we're done making a mess with that and then I'll vacuum it out.
The dresser I'm duplicating today is Anthropologie's 6-drawer Gulliver dresser. It has updated legs on the bottom, so that means the curvy design of my current dresser needs to come off. Updating the base on your dressers is usually fairly easy. The base on this one was just attached with a few screws. We cut the bottom of this base support with our circular saw, and now that the dresser is completely flat, it's ready for us to add our new feet onto. I added some additional support to the bottom by adding 1x3s. We could have just put the feet right onto the base of this that was remaining, but since I plan on selling this, I want to be sure that the base of this is really secure in case someone decides to drag it across the carpet or the floor. That way the feet that I've added won't collapse in on themselves.
Now that I have my extra boards glued on for that support for my legs, there's a little tiny crack around the ledges that needs to be filled in. So I'm going to take my wood fill and take care of those so that when I paint this, it doesn't show.
Now that my wood fill is dry, I'll smooth it all down with my Surf Prep sander. My base is finally built and dry, so now I'm going to scuff sand the entire piece and get it ready for paint. Since this is a laminate finish and it's very slick, I'll make sure I do a really good scuff sand. Before I move on to paint, I'll make sure that all of my sanding dust is removed. Okay, now that I've torn this dresser all apart, got it scuff sanded, it's ready for the next step. This is a really slick laminate, so before I can paint that, I need to put some sort of primer on it so that my paint is going to stick. I'm not worried about bleed through with this one. That's definitely not going to happen because of the laminate substance that this is made out of. But the slickness on top, even after I've sanded this, is definitely going to be an issue with my paint adhering nicely. So what I like to use is Lily Moon's Eclipse Bonding Primer. She makes two different kinds. There's a bonding primer and then there is a stain blocker. This one is for bleed through, the stain blocker, and the bonding primer is for slick surfaces to make sure that your paint adheres nicely. So we're going to use the bonding primer today. Lily Moon's bonding primer is easily applied with a paintbrush. I've included her website below and also my 10% off code if you're interested in ordering. This is really great stuff. I will make sure that I go over everything that is laminate that I intend to paint. Thank you, Chrissy, so much for sending these. She ordered them off of our Amazon wish list and they came today, which was perfect timing. They are a pack of sanding blocks and I needed that today to sand down the top of this primer so that it's nice and flat and ready for paint. Today's dresser is going to be painted in Lily Moon's Opulent collection in the color Smoky Mountain. Smoky Mountain is like a really shiny white, almost has a little bit of gray tint in it if I had to describe it. It reminds me kind of snow, so it's going to be perfect for today's dupe flip. The piece I'm trying to duplicate has textured drawer fronts on it, and I found, ta-da, some wallpaper on Amazon that looks very similar. It's that paintable textured wallpaper. And so I am going to try to, dog, be quiet, put this on the drawers and see if I can get this to come close to that look that I'm going for. The easiest way I've found to do this is to just lay the dresser flat on its back, line the wallpaper up with the drawers, and I use my X-Acto knife and just cut between the seams of the drawers. And that ensures that my piece of wallpaper will fit every time. I'm taking some Gorilla Glue with a chip brush and applying a nice layer of glue to the entire drawer front, making sure I pay extra attention to all the corners so my wallpaper does not lift up from those areas. Once I've applied the glue, I'll put the piece of wallpaper in place. You've got about 20 to 30 seconds to move this around before it sets. I let the glue dry for a few hours before I came back to paint the dresser. Since my drawers lie flush with the dresser body, I can paint them and leave them in while I paint. And once the paint dries, I'll go over the edges of the drawers with a little artist brush. The little bun feet for today's project finally came in, so I am going to paint these the same color of the dresser using my Lily Moon paint. I gave the feet 2 coats of paint and let them dry before I could put them on the dresser. I made some pilot holes in the bottom of the dresser so my bun feet were easier to attach. I hit a bit of a snag with the color that I chose. The original dupe piece that I had picked out on Anthropologie was white with tan on it, and the Lily Moon color that I had and chose for this one is like a silvery white, although I can see on your end this probably looks more gray. It's not gray, it's a silvery white, and brown or tan like the other dupe thing has on it is totally going to clash with something that has these silvery gray tones in it. So I've got to pick something else from my collection that will work with this paint color. So I'm trying out some of the different options I have to see what's going to mesh well. I got out all of the cooler toned paints that I had and got a swatch of that wallpaper and brushed them next to that white gray color that I had already painted the dresser to see if I could make any of these work and turn it into something that's going to resemble that Anthropologie piece. Well, after much deliberation about what color to use, I think I'm scrapping the whole idea. This was a tough call because there was a color I liked, but then the more I thought about it and looked at the dresser, I'm not so sure it's going to sell fast. And I think the way I have it right now, if I put some really cool knobs on it and leave it kind of muted, yet it has that little moment with the wallpaper and then the feet, I think that's going to sell. And I think if I push it and use this paint on it, that I'm going to have an issue selling this. So I think I'm going to stop. I think I'm going to know when to say when, and we're just going to put the feet on and the knobs on and see what happens on this one. You all are going to have to tell me at the end if you think I should have taken this further or if it was good for me to stop where I did. Let me know your thoughts below. I feel terrible that I kind of like ducked out of the dupe, but I got the inspiration from there. I went forward with that, and so I guess I'm going to call this an inspired piece because it's not quite the duplicate that I was hoping for.
There were a lot of different choices on knobs for this one, but in the end I decided on something from Hobby Lobby that was a bit decorative. It's mainly black with a gold little spot in the middle, and I just wanted something to sort of draw your eye to the wallpaper details and not get lost in the monotone color of the whole dresser.
One last final view of my Anthropologie inspiration dresser, and then a final peek of the free laminate dresser that I started with. And here's my final inspo piece. I think it turned out pretty unique without adding all of the extra painted details. What do you guys think? Did I make the right choice on this one? I feel like the bun feet added a nice upscale detail, and the textured wallpaper really pops when you see this in person. I think this one's going to be a hit in my Dallas market. I'll be sure to keep you posted. Thanks for joining me today. I'll be back next week with another flip, but if you want some more behind the scenes content, be sure to join me over on my Patreon page for a fun chat each Thursday. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I hope that you do so you never miss a flip. And I'll see you next time on Lemons to Lemonade Furniture.